Hi guys. This is Michael Smith coming back to you guys. Hopefully my camera is a little better. I shot that first camera on my phone, and it shows. It's not great. I'm not even gonna try to talk around how like, oh no, there's an excuse for no. It's just the worst thing ever. It's just bad, yo. I'm not even gonna like not even gonna try to not even gonna try to justify it. It's just bad. I'll never do that again. I'm sorry for you guys. That'll be my first and last time ever doing that. Like I was saying, this is welcome back for those who watch me. I'm actually gonna review the. Honestly, I want to review the DC TV shows that have been on TV lately. And when I say review, I mean all of them. So I'm talking about Arrow, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, Gotham, and Lucifer. And particularly for this year, because this was a very interesting year for a lot of shows. Uh, although my personal favorite show is Lucifer, and that's because Lucifer is like one of my favorite shows. I've been watching it since season one. I mean, granted, there's only two seasons, but and season two literally just ended on Monday. Um, season two of Lucifer was actually quite dope because it it delved into the family history and family drama that is Lucifer's family, which is the heavenly family, and how he's not too fond of his mother, and he completely hates his father. Uh, for as far as the show shows, as far as the show tells you in the it tells you in its narrative, justifiable reasons. Um, I love the fact that Amenadiel did not have his powers. Amenadiel had fall from grace, so he lost all of his powers. He lost his angel wings, so his powers to slow down time is gone throughout most of this season. Um, Mazikeen goes through a very interesting character transition because in season one she was all for Lucifer. She was all for. She was basically Lucifer's loyal servant, and in season two she kind of finds that identity outside of Lucifer through Chloe and her daughter Beatrix or Trixie. Uh, and she learns how to open up more through the therapist, Dr. Linda Martin, who's also who's. Now I'll get into her soon, but Dr. Linda Martin is actually quite dope. uh, but getting back to Mazikeen goes through an interesting character transition, an interesting growth with her. Chloe, the detective, who has been the detective that has really vexed Lucifer for a very long time because Lucifer's powers of persuasion and understanding people's desires and getting them to act upon their own desires, it didn't work on her. Like she is, and it's interesting because she is immune not only to Lucifer's powers, but it seems as though she's immune to almost any other angel's powers. Like she was immune to Amenadiel's time stop ability, where he has the ability to freeze time or just outright like he can like slow down time outright, just stop time. And she was completely like it happened in season one, but she was completely like it was completely unaffected by it. It was crazy, and she's also unaffected by Lucifer's powers. Like like he's tried to do it. He's tried to use his powers on her several times. It's just not working. So there might be some kind of spiritual element there, and there actually is. I mean, spoiler alert for those who haven't seen season two of Lucifer. If you haven't, watch it. Watch all of season 1 and season 2 of Lucifer's dope. Just binge watch it. It's fucking dope. It should be on Hulu. I've recorded every episode. Um, I'm not sure if it's on Netflix yet, but I know it's on Hulu. I think it's on Netflix DVD, so you have to get that through the DVD sales of Netflix. But I know it's on Hulu. I want to say it's on Hulu. But she was handcrafted by somehow she was handcrafted by God for Lucifer. And it's a very interesting story that they kind of tie into her. The narrative gets crazy, but yeah, she's a cool character. She's always kept it real with Lucifer, even though Lucifer has sometimes not kept it real with her. You know, because Lucifer has a big thing on not lying to people, but he lies through a lie of omission, where he doesn't he just omits certain segments of the truth without actually lying to the person. So technically, he's not lying to you. He's not lying, but he's lying to you, because a half truth is equal to a lie, as far as I'm concerned. So as far as I'm concerned, it's one and the same to me. Who else? Who else was really interesting? Dan, Chloe's ex-husband, and he actually works at Lucifer's job. He doesn't work at Lucifer's job. He works with Chloe as a detective, because Chloe and Dan are detectives. They had introduced this new character, Ella, who's a forensic specialist who works with the FBI, who's kind of funny, and she's sweet and charming, and God, we need her. She's hot. She's hot, dude. She's kind of hot, bro. Like, I was like, damn, girl, what your name is, bro? What your name is, girl, with your phone. So, but anyway, I was like, what your name is, girl, with your phone. So, hey, girl, hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Oh, he said, what's up? So, same goes for Master King, though. So, Master King, so she fine too. So. No, but dude, she's sick. And who else on this? Linda Martin, who is actually what's up. She's actually what's up. She's actually what's up, dude. She's fine as hell. She's so cool because she's a therapist. She plays Linda Martin. Dr. Linda Martin is the therapist for Lucifer and Menadiel, the goddess of creation, who I'm also going to talk about soon, and Masakane. So she's the therapist for this holy family. Like, she didn't want to be. She didn't even know that she was until like he actually proves it. But like, they're like a holy family, and she's their therapist. And God, they need it. Jesus Christ, they need it. Who else? The linchpin of the whole show was the mother of creation, aka Charlotte Richards. Charlotte Richards, the mother of creation, Lucifer's mom, God's ex-wife, has a she was the linchpin, like I said, the linchpin of the whole show, throughout season 2. God ordered Lucifer to bring her back to hell because she would wreak havoc on Earth. Rather than doing that, he decides to make her live among humans, but then her power started growing and coming back, and it was growing back faster than her human vessel, Charlotte Richards, could actually take it. So it started to rebound on her, and bad things started happening. So you know, it was, and I don't want to spoil too much because I don't know who hasn't watched it, but season 2 of Lucifer was dope. Season 2 of Lucifer was just awesome. Gotham was sick. Like, Gotham is a good show. Like, the problem with Gotham, Gotham was a great show. As a show, Gotham's sick. As a show, Gotham is flipping awesome. Like, there's nothing wrong with Gotham. I can't name a bad part of Gotham. However, if you have an issue with Gotham, the issue with Gotham is the timeline in which they're telling the Batman story, because they're telling you the Batman story as if Batman is drastically, as if Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, is drastically younger than his villain counterparts, which in the comic book series and the animated series, for the most part, you never really got the idea that he was drastically younger than his villain counterparts. Like, most of his villain counterparts in Gotham are adults when he's like 13 and 14 years old. So by the time he gets to being Batman, they're well into their 40s and 50s. Like, at this point, he's beating up old people. Like, he looks like this young guy going around beating up old people because fuck old people, apparently. Like that's like it really, like, if you look at the timeline in which they're really making it, it looks really odd in terms of its timeline. But that doesn't necessarily make it a bad show. It's just you have to adjust to that because they took creative liberty in the storytelling of Gotham, because Gotham takes place before the Batman saga. And on top of that, they really do, they really, when I mean by they take liberty, they really take liberty. Like, they really took liberty with, honestly, Jim Gordon's character. Jim Gordon's character is such an odd character in Gotham, because Jim Gordon was essentially against vigilantism when you first meet him in the anime series, movies, comic books. He was against vigilantism. He was essentially against Batman when he first came into Gotham. If you watch Gotham now, and you see the character that is Jim Gordon, there is no way there's no way that this guy as Jim Gordon in Gotham grows to be the Jim Gordon that you know to be in the Batman animated series, the Batman comic books, the Batman and the Batman movies. He doesn't grow to be that guy. He does not. He is not a guy who was initially against Batman, because Batman, when Batman first comes on the scene, he can't be, because that would be completely hypocritical to who his character is in Gotham. But that's, you get what I'm saying? Like, it rails against that. It rails against that because of the creative liberty that they took with him. Even though in Gotham he's a super interesting character. I love him in Gotham. But yeah, I can understand that if you're a Batman purist, it will bother you. But other than that, no, this season was dope. Like they're getting to the part where Bruce Wayne isn't, because Bruce Wayne, he was Batman here before he was ever Batman. Before he ever put on the cape and cowl and went to the League of Assassins, and he was Batman up here. His will, his determination, and his brain, he was already Batman. He just needed the training. And they're really showing that. They're really showing his intellect. They're really showing that he's daring. He's really showing that he's cool. He's really showing that he cares about the people of Gotham. He's really showing that. They really dive into that, and I love this season. So Lucifer and Gotham were dope this year. Arrow, dope. With Prometheus and giving us a villain that was actually cool. They gave us a really dope villain, and we haven't had. I mean, last year, even though I think last year or 2 years ago, I think that's when we had Damien Dark. I don't want to say it's last year when we had Damien Dark, but I really can't remember. But Damien Dark was somewhere in there, and Damien Dark was cool. Don't misunderstand. Damien Dark was cool, but he wasn't. But he wasn't Prometheus. Let's be honest with ourselves. Prometheus was sick this year, and the things that Prometheus did, and the villainy that he showed, and the timing that he had was awesome. The fact that he was a friend of Ollie's before he became evil was awesome. Like they're all just it was just a good show this year, more so than any other year. I really like that. What else? Who else? There's Lucifer, Gotham, Arrow. We're gonna talk about Flash last, because Flash is the only other show besides Lucifer and Gotham that I watch religiously. I mean, I watch Arrow. Don't misunderstand me. I watch Arrow, but I do not watch Arrow as much as I watch Flash. And anyway, DC Legends of Tomorrow. I fell in love with DC Legends of Tomorrow. Just the concept of them since day one, since season 1, episode 1. I was in love with the idea of DC Legends of Tomorrow, because DC Legends of Tomorrow kind of provided really cool characters with a story that they could dive into. Because all right, this is what happened. You had Arrow and you had Flash, and and in the Arrow and Flash in the Arrow CW TV universe, you had these characters who were just kind of sitting around. You had the villains of Arrow and Flash. You had the villains of Flash who weren't really villains. They were just kind of, they had moral codes and stuff like that. You had characters in Flash that served no purpose in Central City as Flash's like supposed sidekicks. Like there was no need for Firestorm in Central City. You really did not need Firestorm there. You have Flash in Central City. You have Flash, Vibe, Kid Flash, who else? Just basically everybody at Star Labs. You had Star Labs. Period. You could call Jessie in for if you need her. So that's 3 speedsters and a guy who could manipulate like wormholes and use blast and shit to fight people. Like there's almost no need for Firestorm in that city. And Arrow has like a whole team of people. Like I don't even know most of the people. Like when he signed on sidekicks, I didn't even know most of them. I still don't know most of them. Like he signed on so many people that's like ridiculous. Like Arrow and Flash is fine. So when you have these characters who are really interesting characters, but you have nothing to do, you kind of give them over. So you need to make a show for them. I mean, you're not going to get rid of them, and you already signed the actors and actresses on the contracts. What you going to do with these characters? There's nothing to do with Ray Palmer in Star City. Sorry, there's nothing that we can do with Firestorm in Central City. There's nothing that we can do with Captain Cold and Heatwave. There's nothing that we can do with White Canary. Hell, we had a whole episode about bringing White Canary back. There's nothing we can do with her being. They already have so many people crawling around Star City already with heroes. So what do you do with these characters? Put them on a time warping spaceship and have them fix anomalies in time and try to stop some Vandal Savage, or try to stop the Damian Dark and Reverse Flash from like fucking up the timeline. That's what you do, because there's nothing else for these people to do outside of that. And the concept is great, and the characters you really like. I really fell in love with these characters. I really fell in love with the idea of these characters. I fell in love with what you did with these characters. Like it was sick. And I've just been a big fan. I've just been a big fan of Legends since day one. My favorite episode, I can honestly tell you my favorite episode was season 1, episode 11, The Magnificent 8, where they go back to the Old West. That was so awesome. Oh my god. And even when they played their music, like the theme song plays in an old Western style, but it's the theme song to Legends of Tomorrow by Blake Neely. You're like, ingenious. That is so. I'm so in love with that. That was sick. That was just awesome. That's just a good show. Like what can I say? Like they didn't do anything wrong this year. Even though the last episode was kind of but the last episode was kind of it messed with you if you weren't too fond, if you weren't paying attention. It kind of messes with you a little bit, and then See, and but other than that, it was great. Supergirl, it was a good show. It had its girl power moments that I wasn't too fond of sometimes because it overdid the girl power thing. But other than that, it was sick. Like I can't name a bad thing about the show. Other than that, it was, and that's just. But other than that, it was sick. And God, we're on the Flash. Okay, Flash was a dumpster fire of a fucking season. Oh my God, it was so bad. Okay, but it didn't start out bad. At first, the idea, because here's the thing, Savitar was a really cool villain. At first, the concept of Savitar was dope. At first, the concept of Savitar manipulating. They have this new forensic dude named Julian Albert manipulating Julian Albert to work with Barry. At first, Barry creates Flashpoint, the Flashpoint paradox, in the first two episodes. In the first two episodes, he creates the Flashpoint paradox and messes up the timeline. He has to come back. The whole timeline's messed up. Caitlin has superpowers where she turns into Killer Frost. She's trying to stop this shit. It can't stop, and she becomes the evil that she didn't want to become. Vibes' brother dies sooner than he should have, or some kind of crazy nonsense like that. Everything's messed up because of what Barry did, because he saved his parents, he saved his mom, and it created the Flashpoint paradox. I prefer that if you really want to know anything about the Flashpoint paradox, read the comic books Flashpoint paradox, and the spin-offs to it, which were sick, particularly the Batman one. That was awesome. And also watch the animated movie Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradox. It's so good. You will come back and tell me how much you love that show. You will come back and tell me how much you love that Joker. This is awesome. AWE. It's awesome. But he messes up timeline, whatever, and bad things happen. And through that, Savitar comes out and starts manipulating Julian Albert to become Dr. Alchemy and start fucking with him at first, and then Savitar fights the Flash. But you don't even know who Savitar is. Savitar is just this guy who's just this being of just holy shit. He's super fast and he's super strong, and there's nothing that Barry or Wally can do about, because Wally has super speed. Wally becomes a speedster and he has super speed, and there's almost nothing they can do about it, and it's just crazy. And the concept of that was sick, right? So you're just thinking, okay, so Savitar's just a dude. Savitar's just the new villain that Flash has to fight. No real mystery behind it. It's just he's the guy, right? That's who we're dealing with. We're dealing with Savitar. Okay. Then the writers write, oh, by the way, Savitar is actually a member of Team Flash. Like, they're like, oh, the mystery is this is somebody that you know, this is somebody that you guys care about, somebody that you guys love, this is somebody that you guys just really, really know, and it's integral to Star Labs. It's integral to Team Flash. So somebody on Team Flash. Why do we have to do that again? Our last two villains were members of Team Flash. Well, not really members of Team Flash, but they were members of Team Flash. The first Harrison Wells that you meet is actually Eobard Thawne, who takes on the likeness of Harrison Wells to spy on Barry Allen, because he knows that Barry Allen is going to become the Flash, and all kinds of, and basically he's a man in the yellow suit, the Reverse Flash that killed Barry's mom and kind of sparked Barry's life. He's basically every bad day Barry ever had. It has to do with Reverse Flash. And then season 2, you had supposedly Jay Garrick, who was actually Hunter Zolomon, aka Zoom, who comes in from Earth 2 to spy on the Flash, to gain Team Flash's trust, spy on Flash, try to gain his speed, all kinds of crazy stuff. Hold a true Jay Garrick hostage, hold Killer Frost hostage, who's the Earth 2 Caitlin Snow. We've already done this before. He He's had to be. So why do this again? You've already had in season 1 and 2. They were both technically members of Team Flash. Why do that again for a third season, where you make your villain a member of Team Flash? Why? Just it shows a lack of imagination. It's almost like you guys can't come up with another villain or another villain concept that's just not a member of the team that's fundamentally possible. It's another member of. Why does it always have to be another member of the team who's a villain? Y'all can't just have a villain who wants to fuck up Central City, who Flash has to stop. That's not a member of the team. Like, it's getting to a point where everybody on Team Flash should not trust anybody on Team Flash, because anybody on Team Flash could be evil at any given moment. Like, it's just like they should walk in. So who fucking up today? Which one is it? Cisco, is it you? Caitlin? How about you, HR? You killed mom. The last HR killed your moms. So why should you trust any of these people? Joe, you got a problem? It's gotten to a point where you don't trust it. Where Team Flash should not trust anybody on Team Flash. Why is this even a team? We should not trust each other. The last time we trusted each other, both times that we trusted someone on this team, they turned on this team and was evil. Why am I trusting people? Hey, Jesus Christ. Come up with a new concept. So that bothered me. And then it took so long to tell the audience, to tell the people who Savitar was, who Savitar truly is. It took so long that you didn't even care. You didn't care. You, as an audience member, you gave no fucks. You so did not care about why Savitar was Savitaring. You did not care about who it was. You did not care about why it's happening. You just did not care. You were not invested in this villain whatsoever. It would have been more of an investment if Savitar was his own character. Because if Savitar was his own character, you're like, okay, so Savitar is fucking shit up because Savitar wants a Savitar, and damn, Savitar's about that life. Go, fine, whatever. I can deal with all that. Bet, do it. I don't care. Yeah, bet, do it. I'm on board for that kind of nonsense. Your villain is your villain because fuck you, I'm the villain. Cool, all right. But then they're like, oh no, the Savitar is a member of Team Flash. We need to know who it is and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, why do you have to? But then again, now you start thinking, who on this team, in Team Flash, could do the things that Savitar was doing? And you're like, well, the easy answer is Barry Allen. But why would it be Barry Allen? Nah, they wouldn't do that. That's just too easy. Why would I think that they would do? Why would I think that the Flash writers would take the easiest route possible? That's just stupid, right? Right? That's just dumb. Of course you wouldn't do that. Why would you do that? That would just be the easiest answer in the world. And why would you do the easiest thing? Flash writers, you wouldn't do that. You guys are clearly competent. You guys can make a complete narrative. You guys can do things that can allow you to not go with the easiest possible answer. So you start looking at other places. Could it be Cisco? Nah. Because Savitar wasn't doing things that Cisco could do. Cool. Could it be Caitlin Snow? Nah. One, Caitlin Snow didn't strike me as killer unless she was Killer Frost, and even then, she was Killer Frost using ice powers. She wasn't super speeding. I bet. So we know it's not Jay Garrick, because Jay Garrick is the doppelganger for Barry's father, who isn't technically a member of Team Flash. He just supports Team Flash, but he's the Flash in his own universe. And two, Wesley Allen Shipp is Wesley Allen Shipp, and Wesley Allen Shipp is always good. He's always awesome, and it is so good. It is so cool this season seeing Papa Flash back in the Flash costume. He was awesome. One of the best things about Flash. Jesse Quick has no need to do any of this, so you're like, okay. And Kid Flash is not going to do this because Kid Flash doesn't even know how to do half the things that Flash knows how to do, because he just started like 2 minutes ago. So now you're just back to Barry Allen, but you're like, no, it can't be Barry Allen, because once again, the Flash writers are smart enough and clever enough to not have this villain be who is going to be. Who it's going to be. You know it's going to be him, but you're like, no, they're not going to do that. It's too easy. And then they had an episode where he goes into the future, so you're like, oh, okay, so it's not the future Flash, because the future Flash is depressed and a loner and sad because Iris did die. The team did split up. Savitar won technically, but not really, because Barry in the future was able to trap him in the Speed Force and say, fuck you forever, Flash. Fuck you forever, Savitar, and leave him there. But it wasn't him. But you know it's not that future Flash. You know for a fact it's not him. So you're like, who is it? One, you don't care about who Savitar is at this point. You don't care. But if you had to give a name as to who Savitar is behind the suit, because it happens to be a suit, why? Y'all could just made him a dude. But it's a dude behind a suit, and the dude behind the suit is some alternate future Barry Allen. Inject me with something that puts me to sleep forever. Why? What? Why? Why though? But why? Why is that the easiest option possible? Like, seriously, the easiest shit possible you go with. And the weird justification makes no sense. Like, oh my god, it doesn't make any sense. He's an alternate future Barry Allen that Iris dies, but then he's like a weird time remnant kind of alternate future. But I don't care. One, you don't give a fuck. On top of you not giving a fuck, the explanation makes no sense. On top of you not giving a fuck about who this is now, you didn't care because it took so long. Let's explain how long it took for the reveal of Savitar. Let's talk about how long it took. It took so long for the reveal of Savitar, for you to know who Savitar is really, who's the man behind the mask, who's the man behind the suit. It took so long that there was only 3 episodes till the end of the season. There was about 22 episodes this season, so they exposed who Savitar was in episode 19 of a 22 episode season. Holy shit! Who does that? Who like okay, look, I get it. In narratives, you need for the heroes to sometimes not know who the villain is, because that's where they're gonna get their mystery. Like, holy shit, the villain that happens to be right under our nose the whole time. I get that. However, for you to leave your audience that way, there's a way to tell your audience without telling the main characters. There's a way for you to tell that story where the audience members can know, where the people watching the show like, oh shit, we know who this is. I can't wait for the main guys to find out who it is, and by the main guys find out who it is, it's like, oh man, it's gonna hurt them all the more, and you're just waiting. That's more anticipation. You're really waiting for that bomb to drop because you know it's coming. You know it's coming. But it took so long that you did not give a single. I gave so little fucks that if fucks were money, I'll be on welfare because I have no fucks to give. If fucks were currency and that was our only currency, I would be broke. I could not get a fucking job to make fucking money. That's literally how little fucks I had. I had no fucks. None. Nada. Zip. Zilch. I gave my last fucks to shows that actually mattered to me, like Lucifer, Gotham, Arrow, Supergirl, and Legends of Tomorrow, because they're fucking villains. You knew who they were. I didn't know who Savitar was, and I didn't give a fuck. And when I got the explanation as to who he was, I really didn't give a fuck. Didn't care. And then the whole thing is they were trying to stop this fixed moment in time where Savitar kills Barry's now wife Iris West Allen. Okay, cool. You're trying to stop that. Gotcha. So you're trying to get around. So they say, hey, if we can manipulate time, we can know how to stop Savitar before he ever kills Iris. So you're seeing this fixed moment in time, but you're not seeing the things that lead up to this fixed moment in time. And that's what the whole season was trying to stop Iris from dying. Got it. I get where you're coming from. But then they show this face-changing technology that somehow the new Harrison Wells had, like Harrison Wells from Earth. I'm not sure where he's from. I don't remember what Earth he's from. I think he's from Earth 19 or something like that. I think it was Earth 3 or Earth 19. I can't remember which one I heard first. I want to say it was Earth 19, but it could be Earth 3. But the new Harrison Wells, the Harrison Wells was actually a really cool character. Harrison Wells, Tom Cavanaugh as Harrison Wells for this season, he acted like, who by the way, Harrison Wells is one of the best TV actors ever. Tom Cavanaugh is one of the best TV actors ever. I've been watching him literally since I was 11 years old, literally since he was on Scrubs. He acted like Dan Dorian from Scrubs. And it was so awesome. And like if Dan Dorian was sweeter and nicer, and then on top of that, he was on a TV show like The Flash, that's who Harrison Wells was this season, and he was sick. But he somehow gets this face-changing technology. So I was like, you completely take the suspense out of the situation because you're like, you now know that Harrison Wells is going to die. This Harrison Wells is going to die. A, because he's the most expendable character, because we could just find other Harrison Wells from other universes. Number two, the moment that he got the face-changing technology, there was no need to wonder whether or not Iris is going to die. Iris is not going to die. They're just going to trade places. So Harrison is a hero who gets killed by Savitar and sacrifices himself, while Iris goes somewhere else and basically is safe, so that when Savitar kills Harrison Wells, whose face changed into Iris, the true Iris is alive. So it just became a matter of how Barry is going to defeat Savitar. You completely removed that Iris is going to die the moment you gave us that face changing technology. Literally, I was like, why do we even have this? It's so fucking dumb. And then when Two-Face Barry Allen comes out as a suit as Savitar, you're like, holy shit, he's Savitar and he's evil, and oh my god, he wants to take over time, and time was catching up with him because he killed the wrong person. So now he created the Speed Force cannon that could duplicate him, and he could be a master of time in all places. He could be everywhere at any given point, any given moment, all the time. Okay, interesting. I liked his end game, even though I didn't give a fuck about him because you were an interesting villain up until they made you a member of Team Flash, and then you ended up being Barry Allen's weird doppelganger alternate future timeline. I don't fucking know. What? Doesn't matter. You're here now, and you just didn't care. You didn't care. The last episode was dope. I will agree with that. The last episode was pretty sick. The three-way race was sick. The the face changing Barry Allen. I was like, okay, cool. That was good. Um, shoot. The idea that Iris West just happened to have a gun and just shot Savitar in the back before he could kill Flash was pretty good. And I also like the fact that Iris West had a gun because it had to be Joe's gun because where else would she get it from? But on top of that, what would have been a very interesting thing? I just thought of this. What if, because they find out that Savitar is Barry Allen in episode 19. What if episode 20, following on this, she buys a gun because she finds out that Savitar is Barry. So, and out of fear for her own life, she buys this gun just in case Barry snaps and becomes evil. She can just straight up shoot him. So she's essentially afraid for what I mean. Like she doesn't want to kill him, but she can't ignore the reality that the dude that's going to kill her is actually Barry Allen. So she buys a gun for means of protection from Barry Allen. So it's like a little bit of antitrust between her and Barry, and it plays into the episode. That would have been really sick. That would have been really cool because that's what you would do if you found out that, like, let's say in Star Wars, if Padme knew that Anakin was going to force choke her, make her go into early pregnancy, and then she was going to bleed out and die on the table while she's giving birth because of what Anakin was going to do, which is fall to the dark side and choke the shit out of her. If she knew all that before, she'd be like, you know what? I might be taking birth control. Like, you know what? Where is my doctor? Like, I'm not having this man's babies because this nigga's crazy. Like you know what I mean? Like that would be cool. Like it would just be an interesting thing. So, it would be an interesting play into that. It would be an interesting play into that situation. So I thought that would be pretty cool. But this season was just lackluster and bad, and it just didn't make a whole lot of sense. It was trash. As my boy Soulfist would say, it was trash. Trash. Whole season, trash. The only good thing that came out this season was the crossover episodes, which were awesome. And all of Barry Allen's fault, by the way. Because of what he did in Flashpoint, because of what he did with Flashpoint, he brought the Dominators, this alien race who came to destroy humans. He brought them to Earth. He brought them because the Dominators were afraid that the metahumans were going to expand and grow and go outside their territories and start fucking up the galaxy. Because that's just where their mindset was. So they're like, we need to destroy the metahumans before the metahumans come and destroy us. And it was just like, you know what? Barry, you've been fucking up a lot lately. Like, the problem is Barry he's not a master of time so much as a guy who can. He's a time master. He's not a master of time. And what I mean by that is he cannot objectively see time in an objective stance. He's within the flow of time, manipulating time and then having to deal with its consequences, rather than being on the outside of time and seeing what are the different possibilities that can possibly happen with time manipulation. He doesn't really see. He's rapidly going through the current of time and dealing with the consequences all at once, rather than objectively being on the outside of time, looking at how how time can be what are the possible consequences and what he can do to maneuver around those consequences to get around time. And there are certain things where you have to accept and certain things where you don't have to accept. Like he doesn't really see that. So and it takes him a while to understand that. But other than that, and the crossover episodes were awesome between Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, and Legends of Tomorrow. All four crossover episodes were sick. Like I can't, like I couldn't, like I was so happy to get home that week to watch the crossover episodes. Like I was glued to my seat the entire time. I was like, dude, what are commercial like what was life like I love you. Like there was one time where a girl like called me and we were talking on the phone. She was like, "I love you." I was like, "What is love?" Like that's love is the Flash right now. Love is Arrow right now. Love is DC Legends of Tomorrow right now. Love is Supergirl right now. You better say you Supergirl me. You Legends me. You Flash me. You Flash me. Wink wink. You Arrow me, but don't arrow me. Don't arrow me. Arrows hurt. But you 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 love me? What? I don't understand. I don't get. I don't get it. I don't know what this. Um. No, but this season of Flash is half past garbage, bro. Half past trash. And then they said, hey, next season they're gonna be like, oh, our new villain isn't gonna be a speedster. Then who is it going to be? Is it first and foremost? Are y'all gonna do it like the same way you've done it for the last 3 times? Because if you did, then this show's starting to have a slump. This show is going on a slump. I don't like it. This show's starting to have a slump. Where y'all keep doing, where y'all essentially are doing the same thing over and over again. You don't want to be there. So other than that, I mean, I just my biggest worry is that the Flash. I hope that the Flash rise don't. Honestly, I would love to see a Godspeed episode. I would love to see a Godspeed episode where Godspeed is Godspeeding all over the place, and because the way the last episode ended, Barry Allen went into the Speed Force to be in the Speed Force prison because someone had to be there. So you have Kid Flash having to deal with this new villain named Godspeed, who he needs help with, and they somehow get Barry Allen out of there and try to help them. I want to see it, but I'm actually just watching a really interesting fight scene that I'm putting on my Facebook page. But but I Facebook super hard. But I'm sorry. But I just thought this season of Flash was garbage. Hopefully they do better. I really want them to. See, Arrow was excellent this year. Legends was good. Supergirl was good. Gotham stays good. Lucifer was great. It's just Flash. I don't know. Like it just dropped the ball, and I didn't appreciate that. But you guys tell me what you guys think. I can only personally give you my. This is just my opinion on. If there are some people who say that this season of Flash was great. I I don't know who that would be, but there are people who think that, and I'm like, if it was, you need to go back and watch the first season. You go back and watch the second season, because even the second season's finale wasn't great, but at least this season, well, at least it was the villain you bought. You were more well invested into the villain more so than you were in the first. And in this villain, Savitar was a waste. But you were more interested in Zoom. You were way more interested. Hell, I was more interested in Piper. I was more interested in Mirror Master and Top. Can we get can we can we get back Girder? I was asking for Girder, yo. Girder. I was looking for the Mist. I was looking for Weather Wizard. That's how bad it is. So y'all just tell me what you guys think. Leave your comments at the bottom. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. I'm gonna put this on my Facebook page so my Facebook friends can see it and tell me what they think. Um, wasn't good. It wasn't good. God, it was. God damn it, it wasn't good. But anyway, jeez, okay, I can't even think about it without being disappointed. Um, the next video is coming. I might post another video tomorrow. I really want to get my opinions out on Injustice 2. I really want to see what you guys say about Injustice 2. I thought that Injustice 2 was fucking amazing, but I was going to talk about that next time. I'm also going to talk about the time after that. It's going to be Injustice 2. I'm going to talk about. I know that this is going to be played out, but I'm going to talk about my favorite songs, which may or may not be played out. I'm going to give reasons as to why they're my favorite songs, even though they might be played out. Don't make fun of me. I might tell you my opinions on the. Another thing we're going to talk about. I'm surely going to talk about this: the Marvel Cinematic Universe versus the DC Cinematic Universe. Because the Marvel Cinematic Universe one is just fundamentally better. And I'm just going to talk about their first 4 movies because DC only has 4 movies out. I'm going to talk about Marvel's first 4 movies, which were Iron Man 1, if I'm not mistaken, Iron Man 1, Hulk, Iron Man 2, and Thor, if I'm not mistaken. I think those were the first 4. I have a list. Hold on. I have a list on my phone. Somewhere. Hold on. I'm legitimately googling the Marvel Cinematic Universe on my phone, so I don't have to cut off the video. Actually, I don't think I have to cut off the video. Hold on. Marvel movies. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was right. So I'm gonna talk about the first four Marvel movies, which was Iron Man 1, Iron Man 1, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, and Thor. And now we're gonna talk about those are four. I'm gonna compare them to DC cinematic movies, which was uh Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, and Wonder Woman. Two of those aren't great. I'm gonna let you figure out which two it is. Two of those movies that I just mentioned, that of the four movies I just mentioned, which are DC cinematic movies, four of those four, two of them aren't great. I'm gonna let you take a guess as to which ones. The movies are super. But I'm gonna talk about the Marvel movies, which I'm not even trying to be a Marvel fanboy at this moment, but yeah, the Marvel movies, yeah, 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 yeah. Uh, but I'm gonna, I'm gonna have the phone now because I've been well head off the thing because I've literally been on since for the last what two for the last hour 57 minutes and 22 seconds. I'm gonna head out because I gotta go to sleep. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll see you guys, well, later on today, actually. See you guys soon, alright? Take care. Bye. I love you. Oh, by the way, before I go, I need to pay some bills here. Shouts out to my boy Brenton Miles, aka Soulfist, who has his own YouTube channel. Check him out. Shout out to my girl Deanna Brownlow, who's gonna be starting her own show. So check her out. I would also like to thank Jeremy Johns for giving me for giving me such for just I've always been a fan of his. I've always loved his work and how he does his videos, and I wish to get to that point. I love Angry Joe. They have been great inspirations for me. I also want to thank Charlamagne the God. I love his book Black Privilege. He wrote that book is amazing. Go read it. It's awesome. Black privilege is a spiritual thing, whereas he says white privilege is a systematic thing. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let you guys get into whether or not that's true or not, but I really like it, and I also like the I just like and I really admire him from far away. I would like to thank my parents for supporting me. Celia, Julia, you guys are awesome. Um, and yeah, I'm gonna get to sleep because it's like 4:06 in the morning. Why am I awake? Why am I awake? This is so bad. Why am I awake? I will. I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys later. Shout out to all my Facebook friends. You know, so shout out to you guys and oh, before I go, I would like to say thank you, Miss Felicia Carrington, for always being there for me. Thank you so much. Outside of Celia, Julia, and Lydia, Celia, Julia, and Lydia, and the rest of my family. Outside of them, you have been a true inspiration, and I love you, and I love you so much for everything that you do and everything that you are and who you are. You are an amazing person. Don't change ever. And also shout out to my other friends. BJ Rocky Finiquito, BJ Rocky Brandon Finiquito, and Sean Lockery. You guys have been the best friends that I could possibly ask for. Outside, and also I want to shout out to my day ones who are also uh, although I personally can say that I haven't always been the best friend. I would love to still work with you guys, and I would so apologize for everything that I've ever done, any wrong thing I've ever done, anything I've ever said. I don't think I've said anything bad about you guys, but anything I've ever done, said, just I am so sorry, and it will never happen again. And I can only wish that you guys will see me for that, see me for who I actually am. And I was, but I've rambled on for too long. Uh, but yeah, I need to say those names. Unizar Elon, Devontae Vickers, Gabe Copeland, Charles Lightfoot. You guys are amazing people. Don't change. Ever. Erwin Elon, don't change ever. Go out there, get your education, become something great. And I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye. I love you.